Disasters strike without warning. Natural disasters like earthquakes, landslides, cyclones, floods and storms have doubled, increasing the number of fatalities by 56%. Over the past years, in the disaster-prone areas of South Asia, the number of disasters have risen. The figures are overwhelming. Over 2.6 billion people were affected. And more than $74.9 billion were lost. In 2004, the Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami that struck the coasts from Southeast Asia to East Africa killed 321,452 people in 12 countries. In 2005, the South Asian earthquake killed 73,338 people. In 2007, Cyclone Sidr killed 4,234 people in Bangladesh. Fortunately, these recent disasters have increased public awareness of the destructions from such catastrophic calamities. These disasters have also alerted us to the need for disaster preparedness. This would not only help to reduce human vulnerability, it would strengthen their resilience to the risks posed by natural hazards. Rapid growth of population, poverty, unplanned urbanization, environmental degradation, and impacts from global warming add to the risks and complex situations. So, where does the solution lie to the many challenges arising from these natural disasters? The Red Cross and Red Crescent national societies, together with organizations, are working with national governments in South Asia to strengthen and empower the community's capacities to cope, resist, and recover from natural disasters. This collaborative effort, guided by the Hyogo Framework for Action and the Millennium Development Goals, bring together the United Nations International Strategy for Disaster Reduction, the World Bank, governments, international NGOs, civil society, and others to reach out to all vulnerable communities. In South Asia, the Red Cross and Red Crescent national societies, the European Commission's Humanitarian Aid Department, and other international NGOs are adopting standardized approaches to reduce risks at the local, national, and regional levels. Each of them leveraging their own strengths to guarantee regional cooperation towards building safer and more resilient communities. This is a result of years of lessons learned and experiences in managing disaster events and understanding the underlying factors for integrating risk reduction strategies as well as adaptation to climate change challenges.
And what about you guys?
In the Davabari village, North Bangladesh, children are encouraged by Plan International to help the elders build boats. These young children learn a skill could later save their lives. They use the boats to ferry themselves across the flooded areas to their schools.
এই বর্ষাকালে এখানে আমাদের নদী পারাপারের খুব অসুবিধা হয়। এখানে ওখান থেকে অনেক লোকজন আসে, নামাজ পড়তে আসে, হাট বাজার করতে আসে, সেখানে অনেক অসুবিধা হয়। এখানে বৃদ্ধ লোকদের ওদিকে যাওয়ার অসুবিধা হয়। তারপর আমরা এখানে একটা ডিআরআর প্রকল্প তৈরি করলাম। এই ডিআরআর প্রকল্পের মাধ্যমে আমরা একটা ক্ষুদ্র প্রকল্প তৈরি করলাম। করার পর এখানে আমরা তিনটা ভোট ছিল, তিনটা ভোটের পর আমরা এই নৌকাটা হাতে নিলাম।
Schools are being rebuilt on raised platforms to avoid being submerged. Creating this safety zone will enable many schools to continue functioning even when surrounded by water. The children's organization interacted with members of the Union Disaster Management Committee and agreed to build bamboo bridges to help children reach their schools during the monsoons. The local community contributed 20% of the cost. The rest was covered by the project.
যদি আমাদের এই ব্রিজটা হয় তাহলে আমাদের এই স্কুল যাওয়া ছাত্রছাত্রীদের যেতে সুবিধা হবে তারপর এই মাদ্রাসা ছাত্রছাত্রীদের ভাত খাবার দাবার নিয়ে যাওয়ার সুবিধা হবে তারপরে গ্রামের এই মানে মানুষের মালামাল নিরাপত্তাহীন থাকবে আর যদি এই পুলটা থাকে তাহলে গ্রামের মুরব্বী লোক এই মসজিদে নামাজ পড়ে যেতে পারবে
Women constructed small check dams in Bhumidna village of Kavre district in Nepal. An effective step to reduce the risks from flash floods and river erosion.
हामीले के को लागि भन्दा अब हाम्रो सडक छेउछाउमा भएका घरहरू बचाउनको लागि अनि यस्तो जग्गाहरू अलिअलि कटान क्षेत्र रोक्नको लागि चाहिँ ती ढुङ्गाहरूलाई मिलाएर व्यवस्थित गरेर अब आफ्नो घरलाई सुरक्षित गर्नको लागि बाटोघाटो सुरक्षित गर्नको लागि एउटा खोलालाई निश्चित जहाँबाट खोला भएको छ त्यसलाई निश्चित क्षेत्र दिनको लागि
The construction was done with the contribution of the Village Development Committee and the Nepal Red Cross Society. Learning from past disasters, the women in Bangladesh have formed self-help groups that actively participate in flood preparedness programs. Women of Sirajganj district planted tree saplings to help reduce soil erosion from the recurrent floods. The women also raised funds for livelihood support through the self-help groups.
আপা গাছগুলি লাগাইতাছি ফল ধরবে সেজন্য গাছ লাগাইতাছি এবং কি গাছ বড় হবে ফল ধরবে বিক্রি করব খাবো কিবা আমরা খালি আমি বলতে গাছ লাগাই না আমগো গ্রামের সবাই লাগা গরিব দুঃখী মানুষের জন্য গাছে অনেক উপকার করে ছায়া দেয় বিভিন্ন ধরনের উপকারী আছে সেজন্য আমরা গাছ লাগাইতাছি
In addition to this, the Bangladesh Red Crescent Society provided families of Mesta and Mazipara community in Jamalpur with sewing machines and rickshaws to support their livelihood.
আমি মনগঞ্জে আগে পড়ার ভ্যান চালাইতাম তারপরে আমাকে রেড ক্রিসেন্ট সোসাইটি থেকে ভ্যানটা দেওয়ার পরে আমি মোটামুটি ভালো হলে চলতেছি বা 150-200 টাকা উপার্জন করি প্রতিদিন তারপরে যে একটু ডিপিএস করছি ছেলে মেয়ে লেখাপড়া করাইতেছি এই পর্যন্তই আর
Similarly, in Sri Lanka, the Village Disaster Management Committee in Pitipana, with support from Sri Lanka Red Cross Society, built an overpath bridge connecting the village to the mainland. This will help speed up the evacuation process in times of an emergency. A vocational training center was set up with support of the Sri Lanka Red Cross Society. This center gave an income option to many young women from the coastal villages affected by the tsunami in December 2004.
ඒ කියන්නේ සුනාමිය නවතැන් වෙච්ච පවුල් වල අඩු ආදායම් ලාභී දරු දැරියන්ගේ ජීවන මට්ටම ඉහළ දැන්වීමේ අරමුණේ
In Pakistan, the Red Crescent Society and its partners not only assisted in relief operations but took up post-disaster recovery activities to reconstruct and improve community healthcare systems, restore livelihoods, and rebuild safer homes. To ensure better disaster preparedness and management capacity of the vulnerable people, community task force teams have been formed in the villages.
हामीले यो मैले चाहिँ नि आफू गएर अगाडि आफ्नै सबै घरमा गएर यसको अन्वेषण गर्दै हैन उनीहरुलाई चाहिँ नि भूकम्पको बारेमा भन्ने गर्छौं र म मात्र नभइकन यसमा चाहिँ नि विभिन्न यो ट्रेनिङमा यो कार्यक्रममा विभिन्न ट्रेनिङहरु छन् जस्तै फर्स्ट एड ट्रेनिङ बेसिक सर्च एन्ड रेस्क्यु अनि डिजास्टर म्यानेजमेन्ट भनेर प्रकोप व्यवस्थापनको हामी जुन यो ट्रेनिङहरू भएको छ र त्यसमा हामीले लगभग 100 जना जति भोलिन्टियरहरू हुनुहुन्छ।
In Nepal, the community disaster response team, comprising mainly young women volunteers, assists the community in emergency evacuation and rescue process.
प्राकृतिक प्रकोप भनेको जहिले पनि लाग्न सक्छ र त्यसको लागि हामीलाई पहिला नै सतर्क यो ट्रेनिङ लिएपछि त्यसले सघाउँछ र हामीले जुनै समयमा पनि यदि प्राकृतिक प्रकोप लाग्यो भने हामीले त्यहाँ सहयोग गर्न सक्छौं। त्यही नै हो।
In Sri Lanka, the Red Cross Society gives water safety training to lifeguards. These lifeguards regularly patrol the coastline, assisting and informing people, especially fishermen, on safety tips and first aid.
Red Cross එකට සම්බන්ධ වෙලා අපි ලැබු ට්‍රේනින් එක ඉතාමත් අපිට වැදගත් කියලා හිතෙනවා. මොකද අපේ ජීවිතවලට ලැබිච්ච ලොකු දෙයක් හැටියට අපි සලකනවා. අපි හැමදේනම
අනික තමයි අපි කොහොමද ගවර්න්මන්ට් එකත් එක්ක ඉන්ටිග්‍රේෂන් ප්ලෑන් එක යන්නේ කියන එක. දැන් ගවර්න්මන්ට් එක දැනට ආපදා කළමනාකරණය ගත්තම ප්‍රජාව වෙනුවෙන් විලේජ් ඩිසාස්ටර් මැනේජ්මන්ට් කමිටි කියලා එකක් පිළියෙල කරලා තියෙනවා. මේ VDMCs වල කමිටු ප්‍රධාන කමිටු 5ක් අන්තර්ගත වෙනවා. ඒ ප්‍රධාන කමිටු 5 වල තියෙන සමහර ක්‍රියාකාරකම් දැන් උදාහරණ ෆස්ට් ඒඩ් වගේ දේවල්. එහෙම නැත්නම් හෙල්ත් වගේ පාර්ට් එක, එහෙම නැත්නම් ඩිසාස්ටර් මිටිගේෂන්, රිස්ක් රිඩක්ෂන්, early warning වගේ පාර්ට් එක අපි සමහරක් කොටස් මෙන්න මේ VDMC plan එකේ අපි අපේ ක්‍රමවේදය හරහා ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා.
Handicap International help to train people with disability to carry out response and preparedness activities. In Andaman and Nicobar Island, Care India works closely with the community's disaster management committees and volunteers of the task force teams, improving their capacities to rescue people and evacuate them to safer shelters. During the Bihar floods in 2008, the Indian Red Cross Society mobilized volunteers and supported the community task force to respond and address the emergency situation, lending support to the state government efforts. While the role of people's participation and mobilization of communities is crucial, the role of national governments is vital. These national entities are strengthening the outreach of their national disaster management systems and implementing the disaster risk reduction global agenda into their policies and plans. This is being done at the national and regional levels.
We have already started interacting with the government authorities as well as other partners, and in terms of disaster management or disaster risk reductions, we pioneered this before the government entity established the DM structures.
Disaster risk reduction is a global responsibility. All decision makers around the world need to incorporate and include it into their development plans, especially the governments who are signatories and committed to the Hyogo Framework for Action. The International Federation is committed through the Global Alliance on Disaster Risk Reduction and the Institutional Framework for Safer and Resilient Communities. It is a priority. There is an urgent need to empower the communities, stakeholders and policymakers of the region, and to wake them up to the need of building safer communities in South Asia. Only then, when disaster risk reduction is in place, can the dream of an integrated community development become a reality.